Hey, Mimi, we have an update for a story for you. The Tennessee couple and a Florida man, they've been officially identified as the 3 Americans who tragically died at a resort in the Bahamas. So investigators, they're now working to determine what the cause of death is. So autopsy results, they can be expected and ready within about 7 days. So those 3 victims, they were found dead Friday at Sandals Emerald Bay Resort on Great Exuma. A 4th was airlifted to a hospital in the Bahamian capital before being transferred to Miami's Kendall Hospital. Her condition was upgraded from serious to fair. Now, authorities say that all 4 victims did seek out medical treatment before they were found in their rooms. The resort said in a statement that it is actively working to support both the investigation as well as the guests' families in every way possible. Authorities say foul play is not suspected.
Southern University is mourning the death of a cheerleader who posted her suicide note to Instagram. Arlana Miller was a freshman from Texas majoring in agriculture and a member of the school's cheerleading team. The now removed note details her struggles in school, from tearing her ACL, dealing with COVID, and nearly failing all of her classes. The 19-year-old says she's dealt with sadness since her early teenage years. Southern and the school's athletic department announced that counseling is available for all students and student athletes to help cope with the tragic news. The school has not released Miller's cause of death.
And the federal government is offering more help to people facing evictions. The Department of Housing and Urban Development announcing a $20 million grant to provide legal services to people who want to stay in their homes. HUD will distribute the grants to 11 nonprofit groups and government bodies. The agency launched its grant program last November. The new money will double the size of the program.
A Texas teen is set to make history as the youngest black law school graduate in America. In just a few days, Haley Taylor Schlitz will become the youngest law school graduate at Southern Methodist University and the youngest black woman to graduate from law school in the nation. Schlitz, she graduated from high school and started attending college at the age of only 13. Before college, she attended public school until the 5th grade. Now, her parents say that they homeschooled her because of racism in the public school system and its failure to recognize Schlitz as a gifted student. After graduation on next week, Schlitz says that she plans to work on education policy issues with the goal of increasing opportunities for gifted and talented girls and students of color. We love that.
The ability of college athletes to monetize their name, image, and likeness is beginning to trickle down to high schools. 7 states now allow prep athletes to sign NHI deals. School principals in Ohio begin voting May 1st to determine whether the Buckeye State will become the 8th. In New York City, 2 top-ranked basketball standouts in the 2024 college recruiting class are being paid a percentage of sales on a merchandise company's products carrying their likeness, as well as 4-figure monthly checks to post about the brand on social media. They say they'll use the money they make from the deals to help their families. And a recent survey found that 62% of adults believe athletes should be allowed to cash in on the use of their identity in licensed products like jerseys or video games, and 61% supporting allow student athletes to make money through endorsements.
And a woman at a thrift store in Texas came across a 2,000-year-old bust of a Roman general. The woman says she bought the bust for just under $35. After doing some research, turns out it was looted from a museum in Germany during World War II and considered a priceless artifact. The woman made a deal with Germany to take the bust back. However, the deal remains confidential. It's now being displayed at the San Antonio Museum of Art. I love this story. I mean, can you imagine you go into a thrift store, I think it was like a Goodwill store, and you find something and you just buy it like for $35 and it's a priceless artifact?
For some reason, I feel like, I don't know this woman personally, but I feel like she went in there and was like, this looks like something that's going to be worth something. Let me go and dig this up. Because, I mean, honestly, it's not like it's the most fashionable to go in like your front room. So something feels like she had an idea that this might be worth some money. And I'm happy that she's able to cash out. And also goes back to the stories that we've been talking about, museums giving back artifacts to their rightful owners. So this is also really great that it's going to be in a good home now.
Yeah.
One person's trash could be another's treasure. That's exactly what that is.
Right, and whoever gave this up, you know they're kicking themselves.
Oh,
for sure.
you already
I want to know the deal, the confidential deal. I want to know, did she get money? Like how much? I want to know the particulars of that deal. Like how much was in that deal? Like I would love to know that.
Yeah. And you think about something of that nature, that whatever it survived, what it went through, if it was in storage in someone's home, in their garage, how come it didn't get chipped or thrown away? the fact is, she became or came across some treasure, and like I'm sure she would benefit from
Oh
this.
yeah, I feel like it was a nice check.
Yeah.
So a retired Tuskegee Airman is requesting birthday cards as he approaches 100 years old. Sergeant Victor Butler says that he wants birthday cards to celebrate his big day. He says that he wants to read inspiring and celebratory messages. The birthday cards can be mailed to the address on your screen right here. The Rhode Island native, he served as one of the Tuskegee Airmen from 1941 to 1946. Now, he's believed to be one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen in Rhode Island. Butler was among the brave airmen, also known as the Red Tails. During his appointment as aircraft mechanic, Butler worked on some of the legendary planes used by black fighter pilots soaring in the skies.
Love that story. NBA star Chris Paul was having to be restrained by his teammates from going into the stands after a fan had reportedly put his hands on his mother and wife. Now, the incident happened just after Paul had fouled out in the fourth quarter in the playoff game between the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks. Now, according to witnesses, security escorted a young male fan and an adult woman out of the game. Paul could be seen yelling to the fan, quote, "Yeah, I'll see you later." Yesterday, the Mavericks banned 2 fans from the arena until 2023 after the team concluded the fans tried to give unwanted hugs with members of Paul's family. Chris Paul tweeted after the game, "Want to fine players for saying stuff to the fans, but the fans can put their hands on our families. Bleep that." I agree 100%. You know, we hear this all the time. Oh, you make millions of dollars. Oh, you got to have thick skin. Look, people are getting harassed even in high school games. So that's just not the case anymore. And you're out there, you playing a sport, you're doing your job, and you have your family. Is it not safe bringing them? Do they have to go in box seats because of something like this? And people know who your family members are, again, because of social media. If they follow you and things of that nature, so they know who they are and they get anxious. They want to have hands on. But no, that would be a problem. I would have been in the stands.
You know, so I was a little bit, I'm split down the middle with this, because when I first read the story yesterday was when we were talking about the story, was that because Chris Paul was really upset, and there's another video where he's like, no, he put his hands on my mom, on my wife. And so I thought that the child literally like pushed his family. No. So then to find out that it was a hug made me feel like it was a little kid, it was a fan, you know? So I'm split, because I thought that literally there's going to be video of like this kid pushing the mom and the wife, but then it's an unwanted hug.
Oh, well, then he would have been the fan. So it was an actual push. He really would have been there, like.
Well, he was really upset though. He was really upset about this. I just feel like it was a kid, like, and it was a fan.
They were in
like,
Dallas, not in Phoenix. I believe
Yeah.
that game was an away game, so you're just not sure, like, if they're really fans of the Suns or not, because you're in Dallas during that time, so you don't know what their motive is.
But it was a hug,
I
though,
get it. You know, it was a hug, but there's this thing called personal boundaries and personal space. And maybe from the court where he was, he couldn't tell what it was. You know, maybe people are always coming at him or his mom or his wife or whatever, so he couldn't tell what it was. I hear you, and it's like, well, it was just a hug, but there's also COVID and everything else, so you just got it. You never know, but you never know.
I know, but there's also being a celebrity. Like, literally, people have stopped me over the weekend, and they just want to give me a hug just knowing Romeo. You know what I mean? Like, literally, they're just like, can I hug you because you know Romeo? So it's like, you know, you think you want to get the person closest to. If I see, you guys know I love Nicki Minaj. If I see Nicki Minaj's, I don't know, some family members I probably don't want to run into, but you know, whatever, the closest person to Nicki Minaj, I'm like, oh my God, this is Nicki Minaj's mom. This is a big deal right now to me.
But that times a million, right? Like, think about that times a million people doing that to Chris Paul and his family.
He's in an
like,
intense game. He just fouled out. He's on the edge, and he sees that. If my family's out, if you know me, come say what's up to me. I'll introduce you to my family.
But you're working. If I see your mom, I want to, you know.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
A predominantly African-American rural college will close its doors for good on Friday. This after declining enrollment and cyber attacks. Lincoln College in Illinois posted the notice about its permanent closure on its website. Before the pandemic, the college had an enrollment of close to 1,000. Lincoln College, which is about 40% black, started winding down its operations after crippling cyber attacks ruined the school's data and information systems. The four-year college university was founded in 1865.
And Anthony Anderson is a proud graduate of Howard University. The Black-ish star, he's showing off his diploma in an Instagram post, and he thanked his professors, calling it 30 years in the making. The 51-year-old says that he was finally able to complete the work to graduate from the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. He called his graduation a full circle moment and thanked his son for encouraging him to go back to school.